Hey guys, how are you doing today? It's Agnes here, your laptop lifestyle architect and online business manager, and let's talk about automation today. Last week we talked about the systems, what you should have in place to make sure that you are up to a good start and have a solid foundation so you can scale your business and get a VA if that's necessary. And today we talk about automation because we are running our businesses on the go, right? It's we are growing them, and we are listening to podcasts, following other gurus, and we come across tons of automations and platforms what we join, and then you realize that okay, in the free version there is nothing. Yeah, okay, we need to invest in our business, so let's pay for the monthly, and then you realize okay, the feature what you want, you actually would solve everything. It's in the biggest package. And at the end of the day, right, these things add up. So you sign up to all of these platforms, and at the end of the day, they don't even solve your problem. And let's be honest, how many platforms are you sign up to? How is that possible that I've just eliminated $500 worth of monthly expenses worth of platforms? I wasn't even using it. Hi guys, how are you doing? Thanks for joining me. So how many platforms are you registered? You don't even remember. Make sure that you grab your credit card bill and you go through the items what you have on there, and eliminate everything what you don't need anymore. It adds up. It adds up insanely quickly. So we are always, changing and learning and getting new stuff, and adopting new strategies. And, we need different features, or we don't even use a couple of platforms anymore. So think about what right now you really do need, what would make your life easier, and where would something come handy where maybe the platform what you're using only allows you to do 5 steps out of 10. And what are the extra steps? How long does it take for you to do it manually? Is there a manual step involved at all? And even if you are thinking about, the very basics, if you are just starting your business and thinking about the very basics, is automation, email automation, or adding a person to a different list when they purchase, at the beginning it doesn't take too much time, right? You have a couple of clients, you are putting them into another list manually, but once it reaches a point where it takes you an hour, and your hourly rate could be $200, and the system what would do it for you, or a VA would be the system would be $25 a month, and a VA would be $25 an hour, then I would say go for the automation. I would say that even a human being can be used better, or you can use the VA hours better than someone just copy pasting data. So think about your daily processes, and think about if something frustrates you, right? Because there are so many things, you're doing it day in and day out, and it just frustrates the hell out of you. Just write down, ask here, ask in other groups, go to Google and ask Google if there is an option for you to solve that problem, to solve that trouble. Tech companies and startups are coming out with tons of different drag and drop platforms which are serving one specific feature or purpose, right? An API between two platforms where people realized, man, there is no option out there. So there are tons of different ways how you can actually solve that problem. It might be not free, but there are other features as well, or other option as well, where it really worth the money to do that. So once you are aware, once you go through in your head, or on the daily task you go through and you add those things to a notepad or to Trello or to your notes or somewhere, then you can find something what is actually, will save you time. And if you add those things up, then it not only money but time wise and energy wise and frustration wise, it really does end up. So now that you know what you need, then we can go into the 3 automation platforms I truly love and use on a daily basis, which helps you to create tons of different things. So you went through your credit card bills, you realize what are the features, what you actually might need in the future. You realize that there are some issues what you cannot solve with the existing platform. So there is the first one, IFTTT. It's if this, then that. That's why IF and triple T. And it's more for casual use, let's say, right? It's more for automating your life, Gmail, calendars. There are tons of different apps what they can connect, but basically what it does, what it says, if this happens in this app or on this platform, this is what I want to have, right? So they call these small automation bits applets. So if you have 2 platforms you want to sync or want to have something to trigger another platform, then you can go to IFTTT. It's completely free. There are limitations to the business part, so not all of the business platforms are out there or on there, but there are millions and millions different applets what you can use and platforms what you can connect. In one of the first workshops, I talked about automating your personal life and that you can save time and take out the guesswork with special, automations like Amazon subscriptions and stuff like that. So when you are getting started and would like to do more business, then IFTTT is definitely something what you would like to check out. A couple of cool automation tricks, and if you see that you are repeating the same tasks over and over again, then maybe something like when a specific hashtag is used on Twitter, then that tweet will be added to your Google Sheet. So if you want to track your Twitter posts and after that retweet for a while, I did that for a client back in the days when I used to be a VA, then we imported all of the posts what he did and we copy pasted it again into Twitter. And you can do that now with IFTTT. Just use a specific hashtag, tell the system, okay, when I'm using, let's say you have 3 different categories what you talk about in your blog posts, right? For me, it might be productivity, it might be automation, it might be outsourcing. So I tell IFTTT if I'm using the hashtag productivity in my tweet, then it adds the content to the sheet. So that means that next time when I go into the sheet and want to repost something, I find those there. So that might be a cool way to use that. Another one, if you use MailChimp as your email list provider, where you sign up and you get the emails from other people. That's the email list. One provider called MailChimp. It's a free solution. It's pretty good to get started with. It's pretty straightforward, and you can create nice landing pages and emails and everything. So if you add to IFTTT that a scheduled mail campaign goes out or it is scheduled, then it adds it to your Google Calendar. So that way you can see when things go out and see what is going out, and when you check into your calendar. I would say use an extra Google Calendar for these purposes, because if you're using it for scheduling your own life and your business, then this can be a distraction, or tell people that you are busy and they cannot book. For example, that's the case by me, then they cannot book an appointment. But you also can do, once a newsletter is scheduled, then you create a new task in Asana, which is a project management tool. And that way, if for example, if your VA schedules in MailChimp, then it creates a new Asana task for her or for you or for something to, let's say, check back in and see how the stats were, right? The statistics were. So that could be another cool way to do. Save MailChimp campaign statistics in a spreadsheet could be also a cool business tool, what you can use. So every time you have something up and running in MailChimp, then you can tell that, okay, I want to have the open rate and the click-through rate saved into a spreadsheet. This is all with IFTTT. Just add it to Google best IFTTT automations or applets for your life or something, and Google will give you hundreds of different options. So yeah, I also one of my previous boss, where I learned the automation and the outsourcing a lot about, was Ari Meiser from Less Doing. And what he did, with IFTTT, he said to IFTTT, if I'm checking into a new location or a new airport or to this location, send a text message or send an email to my parents that I arrive fine. And he created this to make sure that he never forgets that the parents are happy, and it's just automatically goes. So when he checks into somewhere, then with your phone, with the location, then the automated email goes out. So there are tons of different things what you can do with IFTTT. So the second platform would be Zapier. Zapier, as I mentioned, is more businessy. So if you have Salesforce or ClickFunnels or Lead Pages or other huge CRMs, then you can use Zapier. There is a limited free version. You get a couple of zaps. I think it's 100 zaps a month or something like that. What is a zap? A zap is actually the automation part. So if the same like by IFTTT, if you say to Zapier, okay, check this platform, and if this happens, if that triggers, then do this. That's a zap. And in the free version, you have only 2 zaps, but with the paid version, you can go nuts. You can really go nuts and do so amazing things. And if this happens, then that should be checked. If that's not there, then do this. If that's done, then do the other thing. So it's really amazing, and you can go nuts with those type of things. But a couple of examples. Sync between databases, webinar platforms to mailing lists. So if someone signs up by your webinar platform and you cannot integrate that webinar platform to your email list, then you can use a Zap to say, okay, new sign up, that's the trigger, then do this, add the new subscriber to the mailing list. Or the same there, new subscriber to the mailing list or to the webinar, create a Trello card. Someone you want to follow up. Maybe you need to call that person. You want that the new webinar signee comes into a CRM or something. You can do pretty amazing things, and it even can create, a Google sheet, and then you see all the details. If you ask extra questions or something, you can have all the lists and create amazing things. You can use it for support emails, right? And sync between storages. So Dropbox, Google Sheet, if someone sends you something, then it can be uploaded to your Dropbox. If you upload something to Dropbox or to Google Drive, then an email goes out to your VA that it has been done. Check in, and you can do your weekly stuff, for example, by videos. And in my repurposing process, it's a huge one, right? That you don't need the VA to go in and check in. They might know when you go live, and then you straight away upload something to the Dropbox, but then you can create a new Trello task, Asana task. You can send them a message, a text, whatever you want to, that they can get started with the process. So I think it is really cool if you think about these type of things. For support emails, you can search for words in an email, incoming email, right? And if you are, for example, you are using your website or your contact form on your website as a support tool, because you don't need the full-blown, ticketing system what a couple of companies or lots of companies are offering. So if you add a predefined subject line, what comes from your website, stating support or something, then you can tell Zapier, if an email with a subject line support comes in, then create a new task, or then your VA can respond, or add it to an Excel spreadsheet so you can see what's going on, or it creates a reminder for you and stuff like this. So you can really, I love that. Let me know what you are automating or what you want to automate in your business. But these are, and as you already eliminated a couple of expenses, maybe Zapier is the paid version of Zapier is the way to go for you to make sure that all of those platforms are synced and connected. And the third one I just came across lately is actually Dubsado. I'm not sure if you ever heard about it. Dubsado is for onboarding clients and managing clients. It's I think they started because there was a need and the pain that people, for example, for photography or web design service providers who are building the website, for example, for you, then the process is actually the client finds you, or you find a client, you hop on a call, you have a better understanding of the scope of the business, you send a proposal, the person reads the proposal, they say yes. Then you send a contract, then they sign the contract, then they pay, and they have to upload stuff. So it's a huge process, and Dubsado said, why so hard, right, when it can be easy? So basically with Dubsado you can get the from the lead generation, because you can add the lead generation form to your website. From the lead generation, when the client finds you, through the proposal, through the payment scheduling, through the contract signing, everything can be done on Dubsado. In the forms, you can create the whole automation and workflow, and then you can just roll with it, right? You get 3 people for free. You get 3 people for free to test the platform, and once the money starts to roll in, then it's like $35 a month or something like that. So it does really pay off. I'm offering the Dubsado setup for clients, and I went through. It's hours, guys. It's hours what you can save. It's not easy to set up, so it can be pretty overwhelming when you have 1,000 other things. But I offered the Dubsado client onboarding a mapping session for free. So when you decide to go with Dubsado, let's schedule a call. I will go through with you what needs to be done, and you will end up with an action plan, and a better understanding. Back in I think 2 years ago or 3 years ago, I spent $200 on a client platform when I planned to create an agency. And I never used it. It was so freaking overwhelming that I just left it as it is. I never used the platform, and it was only communicating it in the background with the client. And with Dubsado, you also have an amazing client platform where you can, upload different things, upload reports. They can find their contract, they can find their invoices there. So a built-in CRM, actually, you can tag people, you can tag projects and track time. So it's really the one all-in-one package if it comes to CRM and client management. So these were today's topic. Check out IFTTT, check out Zapier if you have more businessy type of things, and check out Dubsado if you think that your client onboarding could be easier, or if that's something you think you will need in the future. Reach out to me, let me know, and we can hop on a call and sort that out. Thank you very much for joining me. Next week I will talk about how to reach your goals faster, as you usually do, to stop procrastinating and just go through with ease on the step-by-step task what you have to do today. So join me for next week. Keep an eye on the events, and let me know how much you actually saved when you're going through your credit card bills and canceled a couple of platforms what you don't need them anymore. Thank you very much, guys. Have an amazing day, and speak to you soon. Bye.